In this Impact Earth report tonight, meteorologist Jorge Torres and photojournalist Justin Fuller traveled to the Arizona-Utah border to see the water levels for themselves and find out what may happen if they drop any more.
The winding Colorado River carved the canyons that make up the Grand Circle in northern Arizona and southern Utah. Decades ago, it was dammed at several points between Colorado and California, including here at Glen Canyon, where water is stored and released for irrigation, drinking, and generating electricity.
So it adds a lot of value.
That water flows through Lake Powell between Arizona and Utah, producing enough power for 3 million Americans. But in the next few years, that may all change.
It's kind of alarming because it brings to the forefront the drought and the consumption of the water, because all this time the Southwest has still been growing.
Back in mid-March, water levels at Lake Powell dropped to an astounding 3,525 feet, the lowest it's been since the lake was filled back in the 1960s.
That is a tremendous amount of water.
You can see the drastic drop from space as NASA imagery shows how much water was stored at Lake Powell just 5 years ago compared to the summer of 2021. The view from the ground is even more dire. What you see behind me is Lone Rock, an iconic landmark here at Lake Powell. And normally, you'd have to swim to get to it, but because of the impact of the drought here, you can just walk to it. With levels this low, the Bureau of Reclamation and the states within the upper Colorado River Basin will implement drought response operations in an attempt to keep it from dropping farther.
We have to send a certain amount of water down the river no matter what. But what we can do is we can manipulate that water as far as how much we're sending now versus how much we send later to use to our advantage to maintain the elevation where we can still make power.
Even with those plans, there's nearly a 1 in 4 chance that next year, lake levels may drop to 3,490 feet or minimum power pool, which means Glen Canyon Dam would no longer be able to generate electricity.
If we're not supplying that power has got to be purchased on the spot market, which would be at a more expensive price than we're selling it for.
But the cost is only one part of the bigger picture.
We need water to live. Over 70% of this water is dedicated to agriculture, and they grow a significant amount of crops in the Southwest. It's huge, and it trickles on down the line.
For Impact Earth, I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres for ABC 15, Arizona.